3 things you guys can do to stop insulin resistance right off the bat. If it's your first time on the channel, guys, I'm a type 1 diabetic bodybuilder. Grew up my entire life playing sports at a high level as a type 1 diabetic. And now I just share my stories on Instagram and give you guys knowledge that's gonna help you take your health to the next level, control your blood sugars, and transform your body as diabetic. But if you're not diabetic, on my channel, I also do food and supplement reviews. So if any of that sounds good, welcome to my channel, dive in. The hair's doing some wild shit today, guys, but it is what it is. It's along for the ride. Hopefully you are too. Let's get it rolling. Just let it be, man. Sometimes it got so tight. Just let life be. Because the hallmark of a type 2 diabetic is insulin resistance. Your body's producing too much insulin, but the cells aren't responding to insulin. But the truth is, even if you're a type 1 diabetic who doesn't produce any insulin at all, you can still have some insulin resistance even if you're giving yourself your insulin shot. And so if this happens to you, what are things that you can do to help to overcome this insulin resistance? But stay tuned to the end, guys, because I'm giving away the most important tip. And if you guys are not here, you're gonna miss out on how to wrap this together. Very important. You know, I gotta save the best for last. Fade back, let's go. Fasting, one of the most powerful things you guys can do. Study after study shows us that fasting can help your body improve insulin sensitivity. When we say insulin sensitivity, just how sensitive your cells are to insulin when insulin knocks on the door. Remember, insulin is knocking on the door, but somebody who's insulin resistant is just not hearing that doorbell. And so your cells are more sensitive to hearing the doorbell when insulin is knocking. When we're fasting, we're going through long periods of time without eating. Now we go through longer periods of time without eating, we have transformations that happen within the body to allow you to be more insulin sensitive. A lot of times people will fast, and fasting has a bad rep, and so people might get nervous about going without eating. But let me tell you something. If the human race could not go 24 hours without eating, then there would be a mass extinction of the human race. That just does not exist because the body has built adaptations through evolution and the biomechanics of the body to be able to actually perform better when you're in a fasted state. It's simple, doesn't cost you anything. All you gotta do is mentally get over the hurdle that Western society has taught you that fasting itself is somehow bad for the body. Starving yourself is bad for the body, but if you got a refrigerator downstairs and you get hungry, just go eat something. Damn it! Fasting does not have to be this crazy thing. But what happens when you do fast the right way, your body is going to have certain changes happen. Now, one of the changes that's going to happen, you're going to notice, is that your body itself can burn more body fat. Why? Because when you exhaust glucose, glucose is the body's most readily available fuel source is glucose. So the body's going to prefer that first. So the body, glucose again from the carbohydrates we eat, breaks down into glucose. So once that's out of your system, now you've got all those stored body fat. But if your body has glucose in the system, it's not gonna dive into the body fat, it's gonna burn up the glucose first. So if you can bypass the glucose, and usually when you get into a 24 hour fast, you're starting to tap more into the body fat over time rather than just being a sugar burner and just burning the glucose and never quite getting to the body fat the way that you want. As you reduce fat levels in the body, we automatically improve our insulin sensitivity. Think about it like this, fat cells as well release cortisol, and cortisol can lead to more insulin resistance. And so when we reduce fat levels in the body, you're automatically making your body less insulin resistant, and on top of it, losing body weight as well. The other thing fasting does is it performs what's called autophagy. Autophagy is clearing out damaged cells in your body. Now, when you clear out damaged cells in your body, the body just functions better. If you've ever been a business owner or been on a sports team, if you have an unruly person on your team, it doesn't matter what you do. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And if your weakest link is not being replaced or removed, your business is not going to succeed, or your team is not going to succeed if you're in sports. The same thing is with your body. If you've got a lot of components that are not working the right way, they can't be recycled out, your body's not gonna function at its best. And so when you fast, the body through autophagy helps to clear out damaged cells and components to allow your body to function more effectively. And so that can help you to take things to the next level. When it comes to improving insulin sensitivity, in terms of the amount of fasting that you should do, is you're gonna see the maximum amount of results after about 18 hours. So if you really want to be serious about fasting and improving insulin sensitivity, start fasting for 18 hours. and try to see if you can work your way up to a 20-hour, 24-hour fast. And you can do that consistently. Let's say 2 times a week you decide you want to do that. Or you drag it out and you say every day I'm going to fast for 16 to 18 hours and I'm going to shrink my eating window between those other hours. Remember, the majority of the time you're sleeping. The third thing that fasting can also do is reduce inflammation. Inflammation is a key contributor to insulin resistance in the body. Factor number 2, which is really important to improving insulin sensitivity, is also exercise. Exercise can be extremely powerful, but what type of exercise could work better? Is HIIT training for sure, by far for me, is the most powerful thing you can do to improve insulin sensitivity. HIIT training is most likely going to drive you into a lower blood sugar faster, depending on how long you're doing it for. But what it's also going to help you to do is improve insulin sensitivity over time in terms of how much glucose your body can absorb through that process, and also lower your overall insulin needs over time. HIIT training could be something like 4 30-second sprints followed by a minute 30 seconds rest in between those. With exercise as well, like you can still improve insulin sensitivity by you diving in and performing more exercise, especially things like the HIIT training, also strength training, cardio can really help to give you the edge, but it shows that HIIT training might have a little bit more of an edge to improving insulin sensitivity for the most part. Now, the third thing I want to talk about is supplementation. One supplement that is really powerful that you might not be using is chromium picolinate. Now, this specific type of chromium can really help. It's a mineral that can really help your body to absorb and improve overall the insulin sensitivity in your body. 500 micrograms per day of a chromium picolinate specifically supplement. And then from there, you can go and increase to 1,000 if you find that you need it, and see how your body responds. The second supplement that can be really good is Shilajit. Shilajit is extremely powerful because Shilajit has something specific called fulvic acid. Fulvic acid is amazing at helping your body to absorb more nutrients into your body's cells. Fulvic acid is actually found in the humus layer of soil, so underneath the earth, and fulvic acid itself helps the plant actually absorb nutrients and minerals, and has a similar component in our body because Shilajit also has over 82 vitamins and minerals the body can utilize for itself. So you've got that heavy hit of both that can help to take things to the next level and improve overall insulin sensitivity. I had to film this at a different time because I ran out of time, but the most important thing to bring this all together, guys, is to look at the food that you're eating too. How insulin resistance happens, your body, let's say you take somebody who is not a type 1 diabetic, their bodies, when they're consuming foods that spike their blood sugars too much, also spike insulin too much. And over time, the cells become less responsive to insulin because of the spikes of what they're consuming with the carbohydrates they're eating. And this usually happens with what's called more higher glycemic index foods. Higher glycemic index foods are foods that when they break down in your body, they spike your blood sugar a lot faster. And so you want to focus on more lower glycemic index foods to spike your blood sugar as much if you're a type 2 diabetic. But if you're a type 1 diabetic, obviously your body's not going to be spiking insulin, but a lot of times higher glycemic index foods can create a little bit more inflammation in the body. Of course, broken down into different allergies. Some people's bodies respond differently to different carbohydrates. But over time, if you focus on getting more lower glycemic foods in, I find this also helps type 1 diabetics manage insulin resistance that might come up also. And so try to opt for, again, a lot of times you'll get more lower glycemic index foods. Just think you're going back to dark leafy green vegetables, going back to putting on fruits into what you eat if you're missing that for a bit. So if you focus on those lower glycemic index and lower glycemic load foods, those foods are what are going to help you. That food element, along with everything else, can help to pool all these things together that over time should help you improve that insulin resistance that you might be facing. Cat, I don't know if you guys can hear my cat screaming, like she's going nuts right now. And it's raining outside. I got this like skylight above me, so it's raining outside too, so you guys can see that. Super crazy out here. It is what it is, man. Just bringing you guys a day in the life of.
What's up, buddy? Do you want to come say hi to people? Come say hi to the people. There you go, buddy. See? There she is. There she is. There she is.
She's on a high glycemic index diet. I gotta get her off this high glycemic diet shit because she's getting a little chunky. You turn into a chunkers, buddy. God damn, we gotta get you in the gym. God damn.